Alright, so this is what we got to do today. You have a resistor activity, and resistors come in a couple flavors. So with the resistors, you have 3 bands. That's all the resistors I'm giving you. And the first band is going to be a color and a number associated with it. So if it's like it's black, it's 0, if it's brown, it's 1, red 2, orange 3, etc. And what you've got to do is you've just got to go through and figure all of these out. And I'm going to show you an example, and this is basically how it works. So if I had a resistor like this, and the last band, like that fourth band, that's your tolerance. Don't worry about that. I could have you calculate the tolerance, but I don't think I'm going to. So you got a band here, and the first band is yellow. So you go to your chart, and it's a 4. So that's great. So 4 right here. And then you have a violet, which is 7 in the second band, right here. And the third band is red, and red is the third band's a multiplier. So the third band is 2, so that means it's a multiplier times 2. So that's how many zeros you're going to add on there. So you'd add 2 zeros. Like if it was black, you'd add no zeros. It would just be a 47 ohm resistor. But since this is a red third band, it's a 4,700 ohm resistor. If it had a gray band, it'd be huge. You'd have to put 8 zeros here. So 9 zeros is a million, so it'd be 47 million. Or a billion, 47 billion. Or 4,700,000,000. That's the correct one, because that's 9 zeros and then the 4. If you get a gold band or a silver band, you got to go backwards. So like this was a gold band, it would be 4.7 ohms. If this was a silver band, this would be 0.47 ohms. So that's the basic premise here. So like if I gave you one that was, let's say, we had a red, and an orange, then we would have a red. We'd go down here, and red is a 2, and then red is a 2, and then we need our multiplier, which is orange, which is 3, so 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 22,000 ohms, or 22 kilo ohms. 22. So like that's one example. Another example would be, let's say we had a green, an orange, and a let's say a silver. So this would be a 5, a 3, and then silver right here is a negative 2 zeros. So you'd put your little dot there and you go boom, boom, period. So it'd be 0.53 ohms. And you know, just because I'm feeling it, I think we can calculate these things with the resistance. So we're going to say that it's got, just quickly here, we're going to say that the ohms are plus or minus 5%. So I might ask you, like, what's the range of values that's acceptable for this resistor? So like if I was to put a meter on that resistor and test out if it's actually 47,000 ohms, what would be acceptable range for that? So how do we do that range? And to do that range, you know, first we would take, you know, whoa, that is way too big. So first we take, you know, our 47,000 ohms, and we multiply it by 0.05, because that's 5%. And get my handy dandy calculator out here, and I take 47,000, so you can see, and I multiply that by 0.05. So that's 5%. So we got, I totally forgot, I think it was 235. So we get 235 is 5% of 47,000. Now if I ask you, like, what's the range, what's an acceptable range? So the range would be, you know, this minus this. Like, those are the acceptable values. So I'm just going to ask you, I'd probably be like, what's the upper and lower limit It's probably a better thing to ask you about. So like this is the upper limit, upper, bop, 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 and lower. So we got our upper and lower limit equals, 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 equals. So basically the upper limit would take 4,700 and add this, so we'd get 49.35 is the upper limit, and the lower limit is 47 minus 200, and then minus, so 45 minus is 44, and then minus 35 would be 65, 44.65. So this is the upper and lower limit. So those are the things I'm going to ask you. First, I'm going to ask you, how do you identify like what the values are? I'm going to give you a couple colors. Here. So I'll give you like, you know, brown, brown, and brown. So you'll have to tell me like, okay, so brown, brown, and brown is a 110 ohm resistor. And then you would give me the 5% on either side of that for the upper and lower limit. So that's going to be the assignment. So good luck. I will see you tomorrow, and goodbye.